everybody. I wanted to tell you or remind you about three things. First of all, on March 21st, that's a week from Sunday, so almost 2 weeks from now, we have missionaries with us, the McLaughlins, to Germany. Excited to see them, and they have a young family. We'll be interested in hearing what they have to say and the burden that God has placed on them for Germany. Before that, though, on March 14th, that's this coming Sunday, there's two things I want to remind you of. First of all, we have our second business meeting where we're going to be voting on the proposal to approve this use of funds to purchase a new piano when we find one, and to replace the floor downstairs in the common room because it needs it. Also on Sundays, a bring your own lunch, like kind of an informal lunch together. But that'll be followed by favorites and testimonies. And about that, let me read something to you. This is Ephesians chapter 5, and I'm starting in verse 15. Look carefully when you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of time, because the days are evil. Therefore do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. And do not get drunk with wine, for that is debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit. Okay, so far, here's our context. Make good use of the time God has given you. This is God's will. And when you're filled with the Spirit, this is the context. Good use of time, God's will, filled with the Spirit. What does he say next? Addressing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody to the Lord with your heart. Giving thanks always for everything to God, to God the Father, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, submitting to one another out of reverence for Christ. In the context of use our time well, do God's will, and be filled with the Spirit, you know what he says? Favorites and testimonies. Sing songs to each other. Share what God has done, and thank him for it. We have an opportunity this Sunday to do exactly this. Exactly. This is not a stretch at all. So let's use our time well. Let's be in God's will. Let's be filled with the Spirit, and in doing that, let's encourage and teach each other through what God has taught us and through song this Sunday at 1:15 with favorites and testimony. We'll see you all then.